Topic today: Hollywood movies, love stories, and breakups. Is it realistic? Are they realistic? We all have movies. I'm going to throw on my glasses here. That's much better. Um, we all have movies that we like from breakups or love stories, and I put my top five: Forgetting Sarah Marshall, The Breakup, not in this order. This was just off the top of my head. Ghost, Dirty Dancing, and the movie Her, if you remember the movie Her. And Hooper wrote, ever see Silver Lining Playbook? I would actually put Silver Lining Playbook in the top five. I forgot about that movie. That movie's excellent. Talk about a breakup story. That's probably the most realistic breakup type movie because the guy actually really goes through it, right? So great one on Silver Lining Playbook. I would agree. That would actually be in the top three because I love that movie. That was a crazy story too. Being an Eagle fan, that hit home. Randall Cunningham, right? I remember the Eagles when they had Cunningham, Jimmy Giles. That's maybe before your time. I don't know. And he had the old school Eagles stuff. Like I said, do not Hooper. Don't mention the Dubs game, please. Do not mention the Dubs game because I have that on for later on. Okay, so like I said, we're getting started here. I haven't announced this. I just went on. I'm going to do 30 minutes today, talk about these movies, and this is mentioned a lot about. Thanks, cheers, buddy. Full disclosure, I watched the games later on without any commercials, so. And that's a big one today. So talking about Hollywood movies, love stories, and breakups, is it realistic? Are they realistic? Most part they aren't, right? Because shit doesn't work out that way. And my first example, which was a great movie, I mean, it's a comedy movie, but Forgetting Sarah Marshall, I mean, this guy gets a heart-wrenching breakup. The woman breaks up with him because he's lazy and he's fell into I thought it was so funny. He's sitting there eating cereal on the couch. He still has his job, but he's just taking it easy. He's got a hot-looking girlfriend, and she leaves him. And then he goes on a trip to Hawaii, runs into her, and then gets the hot receptionist just by chance. And there's no in-between time of no contact. There's no in-between time of him hurting or licking his wounds or crying. He meets this receptionist who's receptive to him, who just happens to be single. That's the other part of it. It's just not realistic. And like I said, great movie, but the odds of this guy getting his shit together that quick, finding a receptionist that's into him, that's hot, that is just happens to be at the hotel he goes to. It's just great movie, great story, highly unrealistic. The Breakup with Vince Vaughn, great movie. This movie actually I thought was a little bit more realistic, but the interesting thing about that movie and The Breakup was that how their breakup happened. It started with like a small problem and they both were stubborn about it and then escalated, elevated. But the crazy thing about The Breakup is they didn't get back together, so it wasn't very Hollywood. They kind of stayed in their lanes. They went separate. And I think that was a little bit more realistic, but it was realistic of what can happen in a breakup where people dig in and they don't meet each other halfway. In the movie Ghost, everyone knows Ghost, which was highly, should I say, cinematic or dramatic. In that particular case, we have something where someone's dealing with a death and a ghost comes back. But the story of her finding the killer was pretty interesting and dramatic. Then we got Dirty Dancing, which was a great 80s movie. If anyone's seen Dirty Dancing out there, I don't know if that's early for some of the people out there, but also, I don't know if that's very realistic where the woman in it that ended up being the main role gets the guy that's the cool guy and he ends up falling in love with her. I don't know if it's going to shake up that way, right? But great dancing, great music in Dirty Dancing. And the final one, Her. If anyone's seen this, with Joaquin Phoenix and what's her name? Scarlett Johansson, great movie. And her, I think in the future it's probably gonna happen where they're gonna have simulated people that are your friends or your, in this case, it's like his girlfriend, right? And I just thought it was such a fresh perspective on the future and what's gonna happen maybe in relationships. If anyone wants to chime in on the movie Her, or have they seen it? Highly interesting, because with the movie Her, he's never got to face a breakup. He's never got to face that happening. And I think that she's just constantly, unconditionally supporting him and says the right things at all times. But it's a damn computer, right? So the those would be my top 5. It's been mentioned by Hooper 502, Silver Linings Playbook, which, like I said in the beginning, this would be a fucking top 3, actually. Great movie, great story, highly realistic. Morning Mac from Tasmania, how you going? It's good. See if you started a live stream yet. What time is it where you live? 7:42 a.m. So going back to Dylan, you want to put up a love story or breakup movie that you think's realistic or not realistic? Mayo on deck. How are you, Coach? I'm very good, Mayo. I got up a little extra early today, and I was like, you know what? I have some things to do, but I'm going to get a quick live stream, and I got to do a better job announcing these. I'm working on different time frames to see when it's most favorable for my audience. But even when I have 4 or 5 people, we get cooking after 10, 15 minutes, it's fine. So the topic today is Hollywood movies, love stories, and breakups. Is it realistic? Are they realistic? Do you have some movies? I just went through 4 or 5 movies that I thought were interesting in different ways. But Silver Lining Playbook, with Hooper 502 mentions, great fucking breakup movie, highly realistic. Imagine breaking up like that. I thought it was when he goes back and goes, yeah, you know how I broke up, and he walks in on his wife, and there's that song. What's the song, 502? There's a song that was playing when he walked in. When he walked in on his wife in a shower with another teacher she worked with, and he beats the hell out of the guy. I mean, that's like, you're like, oh shit, that's that. When people go, oh, my breakup situation's unique, it was so painful. It's like, think about Silver Lining Playbook, and he walked into that. And then you have him dealing with his family afterwards. I mean, that was an incredible story, and well done by Bradley Cooper. So Hooper says, Silver Lining Playbook for me was interesting and allowed me to view myself in that obsessive state, thinking that getting back was ever even possible. Well, that's what I mean. Like you're right. Silver Lining Playbook, as far as a breakup goes, it probably will hit home. And it's, like I said, it's more realistic. He doesn't just go and meet some, like, Forgetting Sarah Marshall. He goes and meets a hot chick who's sweet, who's kind. It's like, I can't remember the dude's name from Bradley Cooper, but he's got a family that's giving him shit all the time. And then he goes and meets someone else that's damaged in the neighborhood, that's dealing with, I think her boyfriend or husband died. And she goes around and sleeps around to get over it. That's the song. Oh my God. I just remember there was a song, and as soon as it would play, he would just go nuts. Oh my God. I'll have to listen to that song again. It'll remind me of that movie. That movie was incredible. I'll give it to you. I might even put that number 1 or number 2. Forgetting Sarah Marshall, I thought was really good because it's so true in a breakup story where they show the part where he basically let himself go and got complacent. And she was like, I'm fucking sick of it, when he's eating cereal on the couch. And then at the end of Forgetting Sarah Marshall, when he's doing the puppet show. What's up, Daniel? So anyone else have some movies out there? The Ugly Truth. I'm not sure if I know that one, Serby. It's not ringing a bell. Who was in that movie, or what was that about? The Ugly Truth. But I would actually put Hooper, I'd put Silver Lining Playbook on top as far as realistic as possibly happening. And going down where not everything goes smoothly. Gerard Butler. I know who that is. I'll have to look that up, man. I'll have to look that up. Honestly, who wouldn't lose their mind when they walk in on your wife sleeping with a 60-year-old? Well, I mean, they're in the shower playing Stevie Wonder too, you know? And that was just yeah. And and the whole situation with his dad, De Niro's in that movie, that was great. And then, like I said, he ends up hooking up with that other woman that's kind of damaged and has all these other issues, and that doesn't go smooth at all. And then they kind of show how she's dealing with her issues by sleeping around. That's just an incredible movie. Daniel, you got a movie that hits home with you about breakups or love stories that might be realistic or not realistic? As you can see up in my comments, I put my top 5 off the top of my head. And I think, like I said, Her was a really interesting perspective because that's fucking different and it's possible in the future. That's a futuristic thing, but it goes to show you if you had someone that was always supportive, unconditional, was always there for you, I mean, it's kind of like a computer simulated thing and how he falls for that. And the reality is there's not having any drama or not having any pushback. I don't know if that's a realistic relationship, but I think it's possible in the future. I mean, to have that happen. And the breakup with Vince Vaughn was pretty good. There's certain parts I like. Vince Vaughn's one of my favorites. So, what about Disney movies? How they give women a false sense of reality at a young age? I mean, that's a whole nother subject, but yeah, I mean, you'd have to be more specific about that, Hooper. I would have to give that one a thought. Yeah, give it a thought. It's like when I put these 5 together, these are off the top of my head, and then when Hooper dropped Silver Lining Playbook, I'm like, damn, that would be one that I'd put easily top 5. I'm not sure if there's another one that really resonates with a lot of people. And this is more about what's realistic, what's not realistic. And I'm trying to think of that other movie with there's got to be some more out there. This is just a good live stream topic. And what's nice about doing something like this is, I thought about this yesterday, is having some topics like this that are kind of lighthearted and fun, rather than getting, so obsessive about no contact and what you need to do and all these different things. So you just flood yourself with all that information, talking about something like this, about some movies that we get caught up in, right? Can break that up a little bit. And I do that when I do live coachings. I tend to shed some light on some things, have a little humor, because if you're so serious and so rigid about your breakup, it gets that kind of feeling gets stronger and stronger. Alexander Fournier. Hey, my ex posted a photo of her I took of her on vacation to Bali. I took her on. Does that mean anything? I don't know. How long have you guys been broken up? How long have you guys been apart? Magic Mike. I don't remember. I don't remember. No, I'm just kidding. I don't remember that as a love story. That was where he's like a Chippendale, right? Or a male dancer or something. That guy is an actor. I don't know his name. As an actor, I don't know if he's as talented as other actors out there. I'll just say that. Eric G is in the house. EG, throw me out one of your favorite breakup or love story movies so we can get a little chat on this. Alexander, I would say it probably means something to you if she posted a picture on vacation, but I would need to know more to the story. Great movie. Fuck, Hooper, you're beating me out on this, bro. We got the same, like, Wedding Singer. The Wedding Singer is a great movie. I don't know if it's realistic, but a great comedy movie with little soppy stuff at the end. Great movie. Yeah, great call, man. I forgot about that. That's one of those movies you think, like, Adam Sandler's a comedic genius, and just the way that the premise of that is pretty good. My favorite comedy movie of all time, or maybe top 5, I don't know if you can say what's favorite, is Wedding Crashers, but I wouldn't call Wedding Crashers necessarily a love story. I just think that's a hilarious movie that Again, Vince Vaughn, who I really like. Great call, Hooper. Wedding Singer. Anyone else got something else to throw out there? We got The Ugly Truth, which I'm not familiar with for some reason. I know Gerard Butler. He's a good actor. Alexander Fournier, you got any movies out there to recommend? To answer your question, though, my ex posted a photo of her I took on. It's a photo of her, not you and her, that you took on vacation. But I wouldn't read too much into that. I wouldn't get too caught up if it's just an individual photo. I wouldn't get excited about it. I wouldn't go, oh, shit, she wants to get back together. I don't have any ideas at the moment. I've probably watched some love stories before, but forgot the name. Might have to check my DVD collection. Might have something in there relating to relationships. Well, I mean, stuff like this, you just go off the top of your head. Like, for example, the top 5 that I chose, they were just the first 5. The Notebook. That's a female movie. Women love The Notebook, Stephen Lewis. They love that. I mean, I had a girl I dated one time, and she basically watched that movie on repeat. Now, to me, The Notebook is not realistic. That is Hollywood at its finest. I mean, anyone else agree? I'm not saying it's a bad love story or anything, but I don't know if that one's as realistic. It's a little bit dramatic. Maybe I'm wrong, Steven. Give me your take. The women love The Notebook. Love that movie. You still have a DVD collection, Dylan? Actually, when I go to my parents' house, they still have some of my DVDs. I'm going to have to, I don't know, do people still play DVDs? So off the top of your head, throw some more movies out there. The Notebook, that is definitely on a top 10 list for a lot of people. It's a random one. I don't know what you got, because I go back to the 80s and stuff, but a random one to me was this movie. Cocktails with Tom Cruise. Kokomo on the beach. Rana Ala Hamad. What do you mean? I don't like it at all. You don't like Notebook? Hey, Coach, do you think 2 months of no contact means it's over? We were together for 4 years, did 3 long distance. I'm feeling better. I'm starting to forget her. Well, stay on that track, Alejandro. Stay on that track, my friend. Don't get off that train. Stay on the track of I'm feeling better. I'm starting to forget her. Okay? The idea of forgetting, I don't want to say it's impossible, but you're really not going to forget someone. Okay, so you didn't like it, Rana. Okay, thanks, sir. Rana. My sister had a close friend named Rana. It's funny how you associate certain names with people. Unrealistic. It was unrealistic, right? It's that's like a fairy tale movie. Yeah, stay on that track, Alejandro. I swear, man, because you can't lose. If you're starting to feel better, if you contact them or you start going, oh, it's over. This relates to movies. This idea, people do this all the time. They go, oh, we'll never talk again. Don't put that on it. Never say never. Don't, excuse me. The idea of dramatic lines to, oh, if we were in no contact, she'll never talk to me. She never thinks about me. That's a strong word. Just go into it and go, you know what? It's been 2 months of no contact. Doesn't mean it's over. It doesn't mean she's coming back. But I'll tell you what, in these 2 months of no contact, I've been doing me. I've been working on myself, and I keep fucking showing up. Do you understand what the statement, keep showing up, it sounds simple. Watch my video, keep showing up. The idea is make it another day. Because sometimes you're having a really tough day and you're like, you know what? Show up for work. Show up for your responsibilities. Show up to tell that lady in the cafe that she's got nice earrings on and a good smile. Show the fuck up. Don't give up on your own life. You sit here and you go, oh, like if they're gonna come back. No, show up for your life, man, and keep doing you. And 4 years and a long distance relationship, that's tough. All right. But bottom line is, if it was long distance for 3, that's long distance relationships for 3 years plus, 2 years plus, they got a shelf life on them. If they didn't end now, they were going to end at some point because there needs to be a plan in place. I don't know, with relationships, there's no studies or statistics, but if you have long distance relationships and the outcomes of them, until they turn into something where you live together and you're in each other's city, at some point, someone's going to go to that open door and end up seeing someone else, or get tired of the lack of communication and lack of intimacy. I deleted all my social media. I deleted her phone number too. Good for you, AR Rodriguez. Good for you. And that's not to say you're bitter or anything. That's how you move the fuck on. And if she wants to contact you, she'll find a way. But right now, if you say you're feeling better, inch by inch, percent by percent, you get better. Stephen Lewis, I had Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Great movie. Comedy-wise, but it's unrealistic. That's my point. It's like he goes and meets that girl at the reception desk, and then they're rose petals and wine glasses within 2 weeks. I mean, what's the odds of that? It's great for Hollywood. And I don't know the name of the actor in that, but he does a great job. My story is La La Land. I don't know La La Land. That's a movie? I don't know that movie, EG. Thanks, Coach. You beat Coach out there. You the best coach. You the beat coach out there. You the best coach out there. I'll take that. Showing up is just one thing. Any doofus can show up, but just going through the motions, it's hard work you got to put in. Showing up. Yeah, what I mean by showing up, Hooper, is that sometimes that's what you got to focus on. I'm going to show up. I mean, Woody Allen says that part of the reason he was successful in Hollywood was just showing up for work, showing up for, me showing up for this live stream. It sounds like a simple statement. And the reason I come back to it, I had a really good friend, and I mentioned this in a video, and he was really going through it. The guy's in tears. He's in his early 50s. His wife of 20 years left him. And I'm sitting there. He had this really cheap apartment. He's out there. I said, man, Gary, I said, you need to keep fucking showing up. Don't give up on your life. And he told me about 3 or 4 years later, I'm like, you know what really rung the bell for you? And he's like, remember when you told me to keep showing up? He's like, I clung to that. So if it doesn't resonate with you, Hooper, it's fine. But if it's other people's, it's a simple statement to come back to. I'm showing up. I'm showing up for my life. It means that I'm not sitting here waiting at the bus stop for a bus that ain't ever going to come. HBO has a movie called The Boy Downstairs. Excellent watch. Think it's now on Cinemax. Wow. Okay. Cinemax and HBO associated. I don't even watch HBO. I watch Netflix now. HBO is great though. The Boy Downstairs. Is that a love story or a breakup story? Clara Bell. Thanks for joining, Clara, by the way. Not familiar with that one. No, it's not a love story. Just a good movie? Okay. Fair play. Claire, you got any ones that I just came to realize my ex could never be single. That's why she quickly jumped into a relationship. What does that mean? That can't be healthy, right? Top Gun was on my list, but I don't know if Top Gun is a love story. Dude, Top Gun's one of my top 10 movies. It might be because of my child, but this is still a great movie. We could have had him, man. Hey, man, we could have had him. Is it a love story? Because there's loss in that movie. There's triumph. I guess he gets the girl at the end. That's true. He does get the girl at the end. I will give it to Top Gun. It is I guess it's a realistic love story. I mean, Top Gun, I don't know if all those things are going to work out in his favor, but Top Gun was an excellent movie. I mean, that came out in like 86 or 87. I watched that movie as a little kid, like 7, 8 years old. Grandma and Grandpa used to have it on VHS at the house. I used to watch. Do you want to watch Top Gun? And then the love scene would come on, and you'd be like this. Okay. I'm a Hooper. Okay. I just came to realize my ex could never be single. That's why she quickly jumped into a new relationship. Well, there's absolutely some people that are highly uncomfortable with being single, and they get lonely easy, and they could jump into a new relationship. And it's much easier for a woman to do that probably than a man. Man, I've said that before in my book, because a vulnerable woman, a woman that's maybe sad, guys will still line up. A guy that's vulnerable and sad is highly unattractive to women. What does that mean? That can't be healthy, right? Well, it means she doesn't like to be alone. Could be that she has some abandonment issues, if you want to go there with it. But I wouldn't dig too deep on it. I would be more focused on yourself, because everyone's life experience shapes who they are and filters what they believe and what they don't believe. And trying to figure that all out, you'd have to sit down and be their psychiatrist for a while. And saying that, Hooper, she could move on. She could move on and it could work out for her. It could work out for her. But my take is, if you're in a long-term relationship and you jump into another relationship, most likely the odds are against you that it can work out, but it can. And but when it doesn't, it's just going to make that breakup from before that much more tough. It's going to resurface. Hello, everybody. Top Gun. Eduardo, you got me, bro. If I could throw you a like on that, I would. Throw some likes up, people. We got 14 on deck and 2 likes. If you like what we're talking about, throw it up. Girl leaves boyfriend, goes to live overseas, and realizes she still has feelings for her ex. You're talking about the boy downstairs. Interesting title for a love story movie. Girl leaves boyfriend, goes to live overseas, and realizes she still has feelings for her ex. Well, that when you lose something or someone moves away, that's when you realize the void is there. Crazy Stupid Love is a great movie. Crazy Stupid Love. I'm drawing a blank. What movie is that? Who's that with? Is that with Steve Carell or no? Mac. What, EG? Sebastian. Look at you. You have the title names and the people's names in the movie. The boy downstairs. She moves into an apartment not knowing her ex lives downstairs. She realizes she still has feelings for him. Oh, okay. For some reason, that's ringing a bell now. Okay. I think that might be on Netflix. I'm not sure. Okay. Well, isn't that convenient, though, that your ex lives downstairs? That's quite Hollywood in a lot of ways. Do those things really happen? They can. They can. Sebastian and Mia are drawn together by their E.g. Why'd you write Mac? By their common desire to do what they love, but as success mounts, they are faced with decisions that begin to fray the fragile fabric. Did you get that off the internet and cut and paste it, or did you write that? Of their love affair and their dreams, they work so hard to maintain in each to threaten to rip them apart. It is. Catch it. Excellent, because he moved. These abbreviations, KN, I don't know what that is. He's moved on. 500 Days of Summer was a great movie. That's with one I thought was realistic. Tells you not a love story right in the beginning. Sure enough, it wasn't. Gen Jam 76, thanks. 500 Days of Summer. I don't remember. I'm still talking about La La. Oh, okay. Thanks, bud. La La Land are drawn together by their common desire to do what they love, but as success mounts, are faced with decisions. Okay. I'll have to check it out. I don't remember La La Land. I'm just drawing a blank on that. The person she left the military as we broke up. It's perfect for her. She was able to build strong emotional connection with distance while getting over me over time. I'll just be in her past. Well, you're assuming to know what's going to happen with her. What you want to do is take control of what's going with you forward. Hooper, what you really want to do is, because you got a lot going on with what's going on with her, where she's moving forward, this new guy, how the relationship is, what she's doing that's not healthy, what she's doing that's not good. And the bottom line is, you got to say, like, Hooper 502, what's your lane? What's your purpose? What can you do now that you're in a breakup that you couldn't do before? What's some goals and things that you have moving forward? And that's what you got to get focused on and get excited about at some point, because the idea of deciding whether this relationship's good or bad for her, or she did wrong, it's not going to serve you, my friend. It's not going to serve you. At some point, when you get to the best place you can be and you're not there yet, you're going to say, wish you luck, hun. Wish you all the best. We had a good relationship. Just let your arms down. Stop carrying that backpack on your back of all this shit that you feel like she did wrong or she's not going to do right. And get on your own path. It gives insight to no contact. Okay. The boy downstairs. I'll keep that in mind because that we talk about no contact all the time, right? La La Land is a musical. I'm not big on musicals. When I was a kid, my mom used to take us to plays when I was little, and we used to, which was okay. We used to always see Grease, which is a love story, right? You guys know Grease. Sandra Dean. But for some reason, love the musicals for the most part, not ones I usually like. Hangover, would you consider Hangover a love story? I don't know. That's pure comedy. I know that The Boy Downstairs is a realistic view of no contact, how exes come back. Okay. Well, thanks. Because Claire, maybe you should get your own channel on relationships. You got a lot of information. The Boy Downstairs. So everyone out there that's thinking no contact and stuff, this might be relevant. Do it, Clara. People ask me all the time, oh, well, what if I did it? Or what about all the other people that are doing? Anyone could, if you wanted to give relationship advice or shed light, I think you can help people. Everyone has their own, I'm too scared. Why? Why would you be scared? I mean, find the way you want to do it, or you find the way it's most useful. For me, reading people's stories, because I feel that everyone's breakup is individually wrapped and laced in their beliefs. And I don't want to say it's a simple method, but in a lot of ways it is. If someone writes you a story and you go through the story and you give them take, and the genius is it's their words, it's their take. If you start out, you need a camera and a microphone. Well, you have trouble finding a camera and a microphone in New York? Come on. She doesn't have enough potential to do so. Who are you talking about, EG? Who are you talking about? You know, if you have a lot of this knowledge, though, maybe you want to. If you don't want a camera and a mic and be on mic, then maybe you could. Blogs aren't really big anymore, huh? Do people still go to? I think videos head and shoulders above everything else. Not really. Well, I know you have a job now because you said you're going to work. I mean, bloggers have. I agree. I just, if you know that you think you can do it, because I know you contribute to this one. I know you're really big on the love chat, and there's Susan Winters in those, and you mention other people and you give advice and stuff. I work in the medical field. Okay, that's a good field. You like to help people, then I'm taking it. Start out doing one where you do it for free, the way I've done it. Start out offering to read people's stories and give them advice. All right, who else has some movies out there? We got 16 on deck. How's your day going? Pretty good so far. It's early morning. I got my iced coffee. So far, so good. I thought this would be an interesting topic, and it has been. It's something a little lighthearted. It's not so serious. And Euro Trip, that's a comedy, right, Hooper? I can't remember that. Is that with Tom Green? Do you guys remember Tom Green? That guy was funny on MTV. He was goofy. I like that people have mentioned Top Gun. Top Gun was great. It's a great movie. For an 80s movie, it still holds its weight. Dirty Dancing was an underrated popular movie. I mean, I just feel like those kinds of movies, they don't make them anymore. The movies that they make now have no plots. Does anyone agree? You know what I mean? It has no narrative or story. I'm not against Disney movies, but I'm not I'm not a big cartoon movie watcher. I mean, I like The Lion King, but I know a lot of people like Disney movies. Right on, nothing against them. But if you have a Disney movie that you think fits in there, I actually have a friend. What's the movie with the Hawaiian guy or the Polynesian guy? And people were he's my friend's Tongan, and people were stopping him and saying how much he looks like this cartoon character. Because I forgot what the guy's name is. What about Streets of Fire? The decision the boy took by the end is great. What about Streets of Fire? I don't know that. I don't know that movie from '84. What haven't we mentioned? Titanic? Is Titanic realistic? I mean, it got award win. I don't know if it's realistic, right? You tell me. Scarface, man, come on. Say hello to my little friend. Scarface is a great movie. It's a classic. But I'm not sure I would ever put it in the love story genre. But you're right. And most movies like that have a love story. And the funny thing about that, Mayo, if we're going to like unpack that really quick, is like, if you've seen Casino, it's a similar thing with I don't want to say with a drug dealer, but someone that's mafia or one of these things that makes a ton of money. They go after the best looking woman, even though the woman isn't great girlfriend or wife material. They force their way into making that their wife or girlfriend, have nothing but problems with them. And it's just a trophy for them to show off to everyone. And basically like Casino, the guy has problems with her from the get-go. Sharon Stone's in Casino. She's got nothing but problems. He takes her on, he marries her, and somehow he thinks because he's got money, he's going to change everything, and he's got authority, he's going to change everything. Zebra doesn't change her stripes, man. Casino's excellent. Great movie. Great movie. Goodfellas. Great movie. Goodfellas might even be above, because Goodfellas, I think, is based on a true story. Goodfellas, you're like, Ray Liotta, I can't believe he didn't have more of a big acting career. He's a fantastic actor. The Godfather, of course. I don't think The Godfather is a love story. I'll show that. Dylan, just so you know, when you say the F word, they don't show your comment. Walking Disaster and A Beautiful Disaster. I read the books. I'm not familiar with that, Dylan. Mayo says yes. Romeo and Juliet. That was just on regular TV where I'm at. I didn't really get into that movie. I'm not sure I watched it fully. I'm not in this those kind of stories really, but there's people that like them. Inception. Is Inception a love story? There's a love story there. You wrote Brokeback Mountain. No, thank you, Hooper. It got picture of the year. Oh God, sorry you had to throw that in there. Sorry for you. A Walk to Remember. Is that the one? Is A Walk to Remember with Keanu Reeves, where he's like a military guy? Made my home state of NC, North Carolina. A Walk to Remember. Like I said, is that the one with Keanu Reeves where he's ex-military? If that's correct, I could be wrong. Yeah, that one's older. See, there's some movies like you forget about, and you're like, oh shit, what about this one? It's a cool talk. You Got Mail. Oh God, You Got Mail is a Tom Hanks. How about Eternal Sunshine's a good movie? Yeah, good call, EG. That's the one with Jim Carrey. Actually, what we're gonna do here is we're going to compile the top 5 after talking about this. I would put Eternal Sunshine because that what I like is something that's eccentric in the way that it's different. Like Her with Joaquin Phoenix. Is that his name? Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix. Her to me was like, I've never seen a movie like that before, and it seems realistic in the future that something like that could happen. And it makes you think that, like the movie Her, afterwards, you can have a discussion like, wow, that's crazy. He's got an unconditional love that's a computer generated voice that says all the right things at all the right times. My friend was the first one in line to watch Brokeback Mountain. Okay. All right. Eternal Sunshine's good, man. That's a good call. I just watched that recently too. And that's just an interesting case where two people that are unlikely to be together. Has anyone ever seen this? I don't even know if The Closer, is that what it's called? The Closer. Is that with Jude Law? We got 19 on deck. This is a very good time frame I'm seeing. This is why I wanted to test this out. Good. We got 40 minutes here. Anyone else got some movies they want to throw in the bin here? I'm developing a new top 5 here. Brokeback Mountain ain't gonna make the top 5. Sorry, Hooper. But it is a love story. Striptease. Wow, that's an old one, AR. That's with Demi Moore. 50 Shades of Grey. 50 Shades of Grey I didn't watch. I didn't see that movie. Got really bad reviews. Striptease with Demi Moore. You should have had read of the book's authors. You should have a read of the books. Author is James McGuire. I think you might like them. I've read the books 100 times, I think. I don't know if they made into movies, if they have them. Okay. Walking Disaster and Beautiful Disaster. I'll keep that in mind, DB. Dylan, thank you. 50 Shades of Grey. Striptease, like I said, I think that's the Demi Moore movie you're talking about. Bronx Tale was good. That was a good movie. I mean, all those kinds of movies are pretty good. The real stories, right? It's like these comic movies, these Marvel comic movies and stuff. I mean, they're good, but at a certain level, it's the same. You know what's going to happen in the end. You know who's going to win. Anyone else got something out there? Throw some likes up, people. It's supposed to help the viewership of the channel. If you like what we're talking about, throw a like up. Click is a movie. I'm not familiar with that. Sorry. I think what Clara had was The Boy Downstairs. I'm about to check that out, being that it's something to do with No Contact. The Boy Downstairs, a release view of No Contact. Okay. Adam Sandler was in Click. I just got the book Models upon your recommendation. Started the Rational Mail first, though. Okay. I actually just started the Rational Mail up again because some people were asking me specific questions. Now, the Rational Mail, it's one of those books at first. It's a little bit, I don't want to say obnoxious, but it's gonna knock you in a different direction. It's very man oriented, but the underlying views I think are really good, and it's really good that you got both of those, Mayo, because they're different perspectives. And my point is, take what you want from it, because some people are like, I'm not the authority on what you should believe or what you not should believe, but you should read a few different viewpoints. And you're a psychology major, I think you told me before too. And I believe the guy that wrote Rational Mail is a behavioral psychologist or a professor. His works in behavioral work. But check it out. Tell me what you think. There's some terms and stuff you might not like about Rational Mail. He's a little bit obnoxious in some ways, the way he talks, but great theories and viewpoints, I think. I'll be interested to hear what you think. Models is just a good book about honesty and dating and a different viewpoint than just being a pickup artist, per se. Punch Drunk Love was good. Is that the one with Adam Sandler? What's that all about? My screen just changed. Deeds is a love movie. Realize funny too. You could say I don't think Click is really Adam Sandler is one of my favorite actors. Adam Sandler's a cool dude. I think Punch Drunk Love is the one where he starts dating the maid. She's a Latin maid. She's pretty too. She's beautiful. That's Punch Drunk Love. Gil Gates, need advice. Dun 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 dun. Go ahead, shoot, Double G. Be specific if you could. I talked about this in a live stream that wasn't at a favorable time. So this is a really favorable time for people. This is why I jumped on, getting 14 people. Yes, psych major. It was tough read at first. Just got to get into the groove. Yeah, I mean, it's a different perspective. I really like the audiobook because the guy that read the audiobook really accentuates everything. But if it's not for you, it's not for you. Sometimes, if I recommend a book and you're like, wow, I didn't really like that, but take the nuggets you want from it. And actually, if some of this stuff seems off the wall, that's the kind of stuff you need to read to get some perspective in a different direction. Because what he talks about sometimes is these different communities online and stuff, and that could take away from the points he's making. The Shape of Water. Never heard of it, EG. Cool title. Did you know that water can dance to sound? Just on chapter 1, started today. Yeah, okay. Well, then you're on the one-itis chapter, right? Yeah, let me know how it goes. Keep me posted on that, Mail. I think you'll like it. I think you'll like it. It's one of those books I think every guy should read, especially in the Western world, and give some perspective. X has a new boyfriend, but keeps contacting me. Should I ignore if the life together or play it cool? Also, I'm from San Francisco, the city by the bay. San Francisco. Yep. I'm from the Bay Area too, if you don't already know, Double G. If your ex has a new boyfriend, it's curtains for me, right? I mean, what are you going to be there to? I mean, if you sit there and you go, yeah, we can still be friends and talk, and maybe she leaves him. I mean, or she's going to tell you, like, she's going to start telling you, like, oh, he started doing this. I had an ex from a while back that we were still friends or cordial. And when I mean friends, we didn't talk regularly, but once every 2 to 4 months, we'd touch base and just have a regular conversation. It was easy for me because I had no expectations. I was with someone else. And it was lighthearted, and it was just like, how you doing? And that's the way you want to be if you're in that. She had a new boyfriend, no problem. No problem with that. Then when she'd start sounding off about the boyfriend and complaining and shit, it kind of gets into a point where you're like, all right, I don't want to down talk your new boyfriend or get involved in being that in between. And you're putting yourself, Double G, you're putting Gil Gates, you're putting yourself in a position where she's going to be able to, oh yeah, this is going right. Like, if it's going really good with her new boyfriend, you don't want to hear about it. If it's going really bad, you don't want to be the shoulder to cry on. So my book, if she's contacting you, I don't even know if you want to use the word ignore. What I would do is just cut it off. And if it brings you an ounce of pain or contempt or ill will or awkwardness, then it's not serving you. And you need to take your power back and just go, you know what? If you want to just say to her, hey, look, wish you all the best, hon, but I'm moving forward. That's it. Thanks for repping Frisco, too. Go Giants. Got my heart racing at some point. As a nice guy, it can't get you cranked up. Got my heart racing at some point. As a nice guy, it can get you cranked up. You're talking about The Rational Male, the book? Yeah, it's not necessarily a nice guy book. If you consider yourself a nice guy, the book for you to read would be No More Mr. Nice Guy by Dr. Robert Glover. Before Sunshine. Look at EG's just looking stuff up, aren't you? Thanks for staying on topic, though. I'm assuming Before Sunshine is a movie. I'm not familiar with that. 3 months, no contact for me today. Well, congratulations. I got to get a bell. Ringing the bell, ringing the bell, ringing the bell, Mayo. Good for you. 90 days is nothing to laugh at. And At some point, you'll just be forgetting the days, but you should be getting into a point where you're getting more comfortable. Just finished No More Mr. Nice Guy today. Okay, how was it? Meant to put really funny in that comment. Another Adam Sandler movie. This is a good love story. I think Anger Management. Oh my God, I was in tears of laughter half the time. Judy Jack Burton. Harold and Maude for the quickest dark humor love story. All right, thanks for throwing something else in there, Judy Jack. Yes, Top Gun is a great movie. Dirty Dancing is underrated. Pretty in Pink, I don't know. Pretty in Pink. Pretty in Pink, that's not Molly Ringwald. Molly Ringwald, that's like a classic 80s movie. Is that Pretty in Pink? No, I'm thinking of something else. Pretty in Pink, I don't know. Dirty Dancing is underrated. That was a great movie. I think someone can watch Dirty Dancing and Top Gun and it still would be good. It wouldn't be a cheesy 80s movie. I recommended it big time, honestly. So you're talking about No More Mr. Nice Guy? Good. I'm glad it served you, man. That's another one I'll have to revisit. I read it over a year and a half ago, and it's true what Corey Wayne says, that to really have something implanted in your head, you do need to read it multiple times. He says 10 times. I'm sure if you read it 4 or 5 times, that's good too. But a really good book like that, I have to revisit that again. I have my notes on that. But this is something I've been talking about for a while. If I started another channel, I would do book reviews because I think they are highly useful. And I think that, with audiobooks and how easy it is to get books now, think about it, dude. 10 years ago, you had to go to a library. Or you had to go to a bookstore. Now you just get them delivered to your house, or you get audiobooks. I mean, it's amazing. And that's real. I mean, you can get educated on a lot of different things big time. I mean, that's a lot of my knowledge is based off of, not a lot of it, recent knowledge the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, I'm listening to 1 or 2 audiobooks a week. One of the most unrealistic is The Great Gatsby. Yeah, I'd agree. Good call, Rana. Good call. I recommend it big time, honesty. Okay, The Big Sick is another movie. I don't know The Big Sick. Don't really like the title. Double G, I begged and pleaded, but been in no contact for 2 weeks. If you begged and pleaded, continue to be in no contact. She called a couple times these last few weeks, didn't pick up. Should I remain no contact or tell her not to call? No, just stay in no contact. No need to tell her not to call. She can think about what you're up to and what you're doing. If you begged and pleaded, at that point, leave it alone. Because if you begged and pleaded, you need some time for the smoke to clear, and you need some time to gather your thoughts and recognize if this is a relationship you want to be in. If she's with someone already that's new, you don't want any part of that. That's just going to, like I said, you got a wound that you're going to keep picking and reopening and have to go back to ground zero over and over again. Found you too late. No, you didn't. Found me just at the right time, my friend. Don't think that way. That's negative thinking. Here's the thing. My videos and my take, they weren't necessarily going to save your relationship or save you from begging and pleading. And the idea that you begged and pleaded at the end, it fucking happens, dude. Don't be ashamed. Just don't continue to do it. Don't put yourself in a situation where you want to do it again. Don't put yourself in a situation where you're feeling awkward and uncomfortable and sick to your stomach every time you see her or talk to her, because the dynamics have changed. And the fact that she's got a new boyfriend, you got clarity. You know how many people tell me someone was asking me before, like, what's the most common thing? And I did a video and it didn't get a lot of views, and I'll probably do a private video where it's not live on generalizations. Generalizations are the biggest thing. People generalize about the breakup. Getting into shoulda, coulda, wouldas, everyone's a genius hindsight, okay? Now you got to deal with it in the present moment and make the right move from now for you. And if you don't, that's all right. Take 2 steps back, take 2 steps forward, and eventually you'll be going forward all in, okay? The fact that you found me and maybe you found some other material, it's going to help you now, and that's the most important thing, because the past is the past. We only can learn from it, my friend. And if she's got a new boyfriend, that's your clarity. Like what I was getting at, I have so many people when they're in a gray area where like someone didn't cheat, someone didn't move forward. Like what I'm saying is she's with someone else. You're done. You don't want to be a sideline piece, right? So that's your clarity that you're in no contact for a specific reason. You're not going to compete with her new boyfriend, okay? And that there's some value in that. People tell me all the time, "Oh, I wish I just knew they didn't want to be with me." Well, if they're with someone else, it's pretty damn clear at the moment they're not. Pretty Woman, yeah, a lot of people would say Pretty Woman is a damn good love story. I think it's a little unrealistic, but it's still a good movie. I mean, is that going to happen? I don't know. Could, I guess. Julia Roberts was probably the movie she's the most beautiful in and attractive personality. Hang in, and Julia Roberts in that movie, she's just always having fun and a good mood. Hang in there, GG. It gets better around week 8 in my experience. Well, thanks, Mail, for giving your take. It takes time, Gil Gates. Keep showing up. Maybe he is, Alejandro. I don't know. The movie P.S. I Love You. P.S. I Love You. I've heard of that movie. I can't think of what it was about or who was in it. Well, and the one who keeps the convo going instead of others talking off topic. EG, it's all right. I got you, bud. Even if you are using, going on, that's all good, man. If you're checking those other things, cool, man. No problem. I don't mind. I don't mind if it goes off topic a little bit too. I'm not rigid at all. When I do live coaching sessions, we go all over the place sometimes. And like I said, being so rigid is going to make you feel more pain and hurt because you can't change things right away. Talking about something fun like this is cool. T Rose, Tyler Rose, Pete Rose's little cousin, is in the house, live and die in LA, representing. Gil Gates, TY, thank you. Mayo, and don't take her back either. Save yourself some grief, GG. I messed up. Good to catch you live. I need help. Well, if you want to send Gil Gates, if you want to send in your full story to unpack it, book a live coaching session, feel free, writemac.com. I would highly recommend it from a biased viewpoint. Had a really good coaching session yesterday, actually. Really good. Someone that said that they had been a fan for a while of the show, and, well, everyone's got a long story. If you got a long story, that's even more reason to send it in and get my take and unpack it. Mac, what are the scenarios that X won't come back? Oh, my God. I don't know. It's better that you tell me your scenario rather than me go through all the different scenarios, because then you're going to be thinking, oh, that could fit mine. This could fit mine. It's like it. I forgot the book I just read, and they were saying how they don't like labels. And I agree, like label, oh, this is this type of thing. What's your individual story? Eric G, have you sent your story in? 17-year relationship, Gil Gates? That's deep, my friend. Consider doing a live coaching and just go all in. I offer a full refund if you don't find it useful or helpful at the end of our coaching session. No, at the end, I always go, is this useful or helpful? Everyone goes, yeah, this was usually. And then they say, absolutely. If someone's like, you know what? No, it wasn't. I'd be like, you know what? Let me go to PayPal and I'll get you a refund right away, because I don't want your money if it wasn't useful or helpful. I'm not going to get your X back. Your prices are reasonable. Also, I will. I'd recommend it. I think they're reasonable. Well, here's the bottom line. If someone's offering you a refund, okay, I'm not offering you a fucking guarantee. I don't offer a guarantee to get your X back or you to feel like, smitten and fucking skipping to school the next day or singing in the rain. What I offer is useful, helpful information, right? Tyler Rose knows we've done a few live coaching sessions. I think it's gone quite well. And, well, Tyler Rose could tell you, but you want to unpack what happened to get clarity. And that's what I'll help you with. Right. Some I'm not going to say other people, but there's other things out there that can get you caught up in curing you. You're not going to get cured from a breakup like that. What you want to do is get your foot set forward and get clear on what happened. What was your role? Okay. What did you maybe do? And what can you look at moving forward to look forward to? What's some things about you? One of the questions I ask people, what can you do now that you couldn't do before that you were in a relationship? Well, now I can travel. All right, that's something to look forward to. You know, when does no contact work? Broad question. No contact at its best is for you. It's not to work for a certain outcome. It's to have you move forward without being attached to the individual that broke up with you or the individual that you broke up with. Good point. When you don't care. When you get into no contact, what you're doing is you're starting the healing process, and you are putting yourself in a position where you're saying, I'm not going to revisit this relationship for a while in any shape or form, so I can get my head straight and move forward and possibly start a new life. That doesn't mean that in your head during no contact that you don't want your ex back. It just means that at that point, that's probably your best option. Gil Gates, I'm on that stage now. Well, good for you, AR, Mr. Rodriguez. This was a really good chat today. Thanks for contributing all out there. Mayo, Gil Gates. And thanks, Mayo. You mentioned in a comment recently that you were in a live chat with or a live stream with the Love Chat, and you said you mentioned me in there and stuff and said some kind words. Thanks, bud. I appreciate that. That's been coming up. I've had a few different messages from people that are in the live stream with Love Chat, and they really want to tell me that he likes my show, and he said I'm a discounted Corey Wayne, and I said I'll take that as a compliment because I got a lot of respect for Corey Wayne. If I'm going to be compared to Corey Wayne in that way, all right, I am cheaper. But thanks for having my back on that, Mayo. Thank you. There's been a lot of people there's just a fresh comment today from a guy, Robert Barton, who I think used to make quite a few comments, and he wanted to establish that the Love Chat always speaks kindly of you. So if that's true, thank you. I appreciate it. Can't wait. I'm trying to get you some traffic. I love your channel. I'm with you. People do this all the time. They're like, how can I get you more traffic? Because I don't have that many subscribers. It's going to happen. It's going to happen organically. I haven't done anything, I haven't done anything where I've gone over the top, and it's coming. It's coming. And you know what? It's always a great compliment when people go, wow, you should have more subscribers, or you should have more views, or when I came across your channel, this or that, I'll take that. It's moving along. I mean, there's probably some things I could do that would move it along faster, but during this time I've had a job too. So been in radio silence. How will she contact me? The idea of people do this all the time. How is she going to contact me? Yeah, that's weak and needy. If she wants to find you, she's got mutual friends. She'll find you. She'll find you. I was on that stream. All right, Rodriguez. Thanks, bud. So is that how you found my channel? Again, Mayo, thank you. I appreciate it. And I have, like I said, people have come back to this thing with the Love Chat and this. I don't have any beef or any problems. I like Rory, and I like his approach. I haven't listened to a lot of what he does, but I haven't listened to a lot of breakup coaches because I'm doing my own thing. If I'm going to watch YouTube, I said people before, I like Joe Rogan. I like Tim Ferriss podcasts where he interviews people. I like stuff on history and cultural things. I was just watching a documentary on Polynesia being a continent before, stuff like that. Been 6 weeks, still stressed, only 2 weeks, no contact. It takes time, Gil. It's gonna be one of those things. The Bridges of Madison County, CNSS. That's with Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood's got to be one of the greatest all-time Hollywood people because he's been such an outstanding director and he's been an actor so long. I think the guy's in his 80s and he's got kids under 10. Guy's a boss. I don't remember the storyline in the Bridges of Madison County, though. I don't remember it. That's an older movie. Thanks for dropping that, though. Yes, P.S. I Love You is a tearjerker, definitely worth the watch. Okay. It rings a bell. Hey, Coach, I found you through the love chat. I know, Daniel. Thank you. I know, and I appreciate it because I've gotten people send me different comments about that. My point was the guy did a review about breakup coaches, and the review he gave me to me wasn't fair. Okay, when someone attacks your prices, I didn't think it was good. Other people are like, oh no, he said that, it's okay to talk to you and you're okay and this and that. I didn't think it was favorable for me, right? And I can get deeper into that, but I don't want to get into a back and forth. But I do respect the guy. I do respect his channel, and I respect the fact that you guys go to his channel and think he gives you good wisdom or knowledge, right? And if that's someone you go to, right on. I found you back in January. And if you found me through the love chat, part of finding me on the love chat too is one thing that Rory did really cool was that he did this where he said, go ahead and review all breakup coaches if you've had an experience, which I thought was fucking outstanding because he's got a pretty big audience. And then if you've gone to another coach, give the review of having that direct. And not a lot, but I've had 5 or 6 clients put those in the comments. And that's what you want to know, right? You want to know real live people that have actually used someone for a coaching. You're right. If she has a boyfriend, forget about her. But we had 17-year. You're not, Gil, let me just tell you this. You're not going to forget about her. She's going to pop up in your mind daily. So don't fight that, Gil. I cheated and didn't appreciate what I had. So if you cheated, you really need to unpack that because at some point you got to forgive yourself. Because you have a direct reason to blame yourself in a lot of ways. And at some point to move forward, and we'd have to unpack that, like I said, in live coaching and get to the bottom of why you did it. And I remember a movie, I Want to See Hope. It's still in the cinema, 5 feet apart from what I remember. It's about 2 young teens in the hospital who have a disease that's deadly and somehow they fall in love. Yeah, I think that is in the cinema. Sucks we find you when it's too late. Well, even if you found me, even if you found me earlier, it might have turned out the same way. You can't go back in time, dude. It ain't Back to the Future to talk about movies, right? Can't go back in time. Right now, it's going to take time. Change your routine. You've been together 17 years, so you've been in a routine where you see each other at certain days at certain times. During those certain days and certain times, you're going to feel extra weak and needy and upset. And during those times, flip it. We've talked about this before. Join a 24-hour fitness where you go to the gym at 8:30 at night when you usually used to have a cup of tea and have a chat or something like that. Switch up your routine. And you live in San Francisco, dude. There's a lot of stuff you could switch up your routine over there. Do you live in the city or do you live in the Bay Area? I might go see it actually if it's still on. I was in an 8-year relationship 6 years ago. Ask me if I care now. Had my heart scratched 4 times since scratched. Great way to put it. Keep showing up, gents. Do no contact for yourself, even if you're still seeking her validation at first. Great way to put it, Mayo. 8-year relationship, that's not that, coming out of something like that, that's a tunnel. That's a long tunnel before you see the light, but you will see the light. 17 years, you're going to be in the tunnel for a little while, but you're going to see the light. That's what I mean by keep showing up. Yep, Mac is the man. Tyler Rose, thank you kindly. He's talking about probably the live coachings we've done. I like that you give a reality check when you unpack the story. Yeah. Well, the thing about when you unpack the thing about if you watch the channel, which I think most of you have watched it somewhat, and I unpack these stories and I give you my take, I do the same thing in a live coaching. It's just deeper because you can actually respond to what I'm saying and I can actually ask you direct questions. So if someone has something like as simple as their job, I'll be like, so do you like your job? And then we'll dig into that because sometimes a big contributor to your unhappiness is the fact that you just don't like your job. There's some other things underlying the situation in your relationship besides just breaking up. So unpacking the whole thing, sometimes you get to the bottom of something. Someone I had that had a really prestigious, great job. You asked him about his job and he was just like deadpan. Yeah, it's okay. I'm like, wait, there's something there, man. Well, it's a little bit boring for me. Da, 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 da. It's like, no, there's something there that's going to affect your relationship that you're so unhappy with this kind of a prestigious job. 2 weeks later, he put in for another job somewhere else. You could see a difference in his upbeat, his excitement. I live in San Francisco, born and raised. I'm from San Mateo. I don't know if you knew that already, Gil Gates. Born and raised in San Mateo. I was actually born in Redwood City, Kaiser, if you know where that is, double G. And went to San Francisco State for my final 2 years after living in Diego. So I lived in an area called Parkside. My grandmother lived there for years. Sorry, guys, getting too deep on the Frisco thing. Trying to be strong. Watched all your videos, but still have bad days. Sorry, man. You know what? Instead of fighting it, deal with it. Reframe it. Find one good thing in that day. Find one good thing in that day. Like that's what I say about keep showing up. It will get better. Yeah, West Portal. West Portal. What area are you in, Gil? Unless you don't want to share that. San Francisco, for everyone else out there, has these small little areas or districts, and from one neighborhood to the next, they're very different. I just got through for I think I'll do 20 minutes more here, folks. This has been a really good chat. Thanks for everyone contributing. Thanks for being on board, EG. Can I break no contact? It's completely up to you. I never tell you exactly what you have to do. You need to have free will to make your own decisions based on the knowledge you gain from these YouTube channels or books or what have you. But bottom line, in your particular case, if you have to ask, the question is, do you really want to break no contact? What's your intentions in breaking no contact? If you think you're going to break no contact to get someone back, then no, don't do it. No, unless you feel like going back to ground zero. Nice area. I went to West Portal. Wow. West Portal Elementary by the beach. Wow. I live in the Bayview. Wow. That area has changed, hasn't it? It's a nice area now. It's got the best weather in the city. I love West Portal. I haven't been there in a while. My ex that I talk about from 10 years ago, we spent some time in those little hole-in-the-wall restaurants in West Portal. Great place. Bayview. Right? Don't mention anything about the Warriors game, Gil Gates. I have that on deck, so I haven't seen it yet. Please don't say anything. My own interpretation was that the love chat and the dating guy primarily roasted Brad Browning and Dan Bacon. Well-deserved, in my opinion. People are in a vulnerable state at first. No, I don't know the steakhouse by the. Oh, you mean in West Portal? Yeah, once. The one right next door. Yeah, I've been in that one. That wasn't my favorite restaurant on West Portal, though. There was an Italian place that I really liked, and there was a Chinese restaurant down the way that I really liked. And I'm just drawing a blank on their names. My own interpretation was that the love chat and the dating guy primarily roasted Brad Browning and Dan Bacon. Well-deserved, in my opinion. Well, yeah, I'm not. You know what's interesting about that, Judy Jack, is that there's one video a while back, and I kind of gave it to Brad Browning on one of his ideas of getting your ex back, and a lot of people thought it was funny. I don't know if you'd consider it a roast. But Brad Browning came up in a live chat, I don't know, 2 or 3 days ago, whatever it was. And some girl came out of nowhere and she goes, I love Brad Browning. I've talked to him direct. I've spent over $2,000 on this and that, and he helped me so much. And I was like, you know what? Good for you. Good for you. On the flip side, Judy, I would say, yeah, well-deserved in my opinion. Fair play. People ask me about Dan Bacon. I mean, it wouldn't be the guy I chose for myself, but if you like him, go for it. My thing is, if the person resonates with you and you want to use him, the interesting thing about Brad Browning, 2 other people said they bought his Get Your Ex Back, and they said it worked, but then they said it didn't help them because they ended up breaking up again. So People are in a vulnerable state at first. You're exactly right, Judy. You're right. People are. And I've had other people, oh, why don't you do an X-Back kit? And I'm like, what I'm working towards is writing a book, okay? And writing something that's highly useful and helpful and resonates with people based on what my knowledge is over the past year and a half dealing with people directly. They call them breaking bread. Okay. You know, like I said, I don't want to get into a live stream where you're just like, oh, let me just roast this guy, right? But well-deserved in my opinion. Fair play, Judy Jack. That's what I'll say. Fair play. Fair play to you, hon. Everyone's got an opinion. Everyone. We live in such a society now that there's a lot of spectatorism, I call it. All right, Gil, go ahead. Feel free, my friend. Send it in. You can go to writemac.com if you want to send it that way, if you want to book a session. But I look forward to it. Getting to a point here. I really enjoy these live streams. Unfortunately, some of the other people that watch the show, I joined late. Was your take on movies? Any realistic ones on your list? Okay, no problem. If you scroll to the top of this chat, I did if you scroll to the top of this, I did mention 5 movies, but I would add to those based on what we've went over so far. So I said Forgetting Sarah Marshall, which I feel is unrealistic, but great movie and very funny. But the idea that he gets the girl in the end, the girl that he gets, the breakup I felt was semi-realistic. And it shows in a way that a breakup can happen where people are dug in and stubborn and don't meet each other halfway when they really had a good relationship and they let things mount to a point where they couldn't move back. Ghost, I'll leave it up to you guys to think if that's realistic or not realistic, but it definitely was one of those movies that got your feelings involved. Dirty Dancing, which I thought was a great movie for a variety of reasons, great music. Is that realistic though, that the cool guy gets the nerdy kind of girl and shows her how to dirty dance? I don't know. Highly improbable, but made a good movie story, right? Her with Joaquin Phoenix, which hasn't been mentioned many times, is really interesting about the future of possible, I don't want to call them robots, but basically he falls in love with a simulated person that tells him everything he wants to hear, is always there for him, is the perfect girlfriend, but isn't a physical body. Isn't that interesting? But Silver Linings Playbook, great movie. I would say pretty realistic if that happened to someone, that scenario. And I'm sure some people have walked in on their ex hooking up with someone else, banging someone else, if you will. What was the other one that I thought? Top Gun, I like. Which people are right, that is a love story. Wedding Singer's funny. I mean, those are comedy based. So there's some other ones there. Jenny, Forrest Gump. I guess you could say Forrest Gump ends up a love story because he does a lot of things for Jenny. Life is like a box of chocolates. That was a great movie, right? I mean, if you got a problem with yourself if you don't like Forrest Gump. Any realistic one? Yeah, like I said, the breakup would be realistic. Actually, the movie Her, I think in the future that could be realistic, that people will have someone that's like a friend or a girlfriend like that talks to them. How's it going, Coach? It's Josh Hu. It's going well, actually. This has been a really good live stream. It's obviously a good time frame for a lot of people. One of the greatest movies ever. Forrest Gump, yeah. I mean, it's timeless too, right? I just wish they made more movies like that. I think Benjamin Button, if you like Forrest Gump, was kind of similar in that sense. And Benjamin Button has a love story part of it where he's in love. He's in the golden age of love, and he says nothing ever lasts forever. And he says the same thing in 7 Years in Tibet, by the way. It has everything: comedy, romance, action. When does no contact work? Eric, did you ask me this already, bud? Are you asking everyone else out there? I'm sorry. You said, when does it not work? When does no contact work? It's a broad question. Send your story in if you haven't sent your story in, and I can give you a more tailored response. When does no contact work? No contact works when you're doing it for yourself. When you're doing it to move forward, first and foremost. That's when it works best. That's when it's most effective. And that's when it jumpstarts the process of you going, I can make it on my own. Got 16 on deck here. Throw some likes up, people. Mikey Mike didn't join today, huh? That's a good one. Benjamin Button's a great movie. Great movie. Great storyline. And it's highly unrealistic that you go backwards in time, but the actual story is great. I love that movie. You know what movie I'm surprised no one's mentioned? I'm peacing out, Mac. Be kind to yourself, everybody out there. Thanks, Mayo. Thanks for contributing. I'm going to be out soon, too. Women love this movie. I had an ex-girlfriend that this was her favorite movie. Meeting Joe Black. Not realistic, right? People love that movie. I mean, it probably contributes that it's Brad Pitt. I'll give you the why. I think called Time Traveler. Meeting Joe Black is different than Time Traveler. Oh, you mean the movies? He's a time traveler in the movie. Yeah, that's true. An update from last week, if you remember, we moved from just friends to friends with benefits. I actually got that abbreviation, FWB, and I'm pretty sure it's about to get even better than that soon. No problem there. Don't push it. Stick with friends with benefits. Let it gradually raise your connection. Don't put a lot of pressure on the situation. Don't be asking her if she's seeing other people. Put yourself in a position where you're not needy or weak. Be in the present moment and have a good time. Good for you, Josh. Eric G, no contact is the best way to get over someone. You never know, they might come back. I expected my ex to come and I wanted her to, but unfortunately she didn't. Fully over her now, thanks to Mac. Thanks, Dylan. Thank you, Dylan. The Notebook. Someone else mentioned The Notebook. Highly unrealistic, right? But is it a good love story? I know women love that movie. I'm trying to think if there's any other ones that haven't been touched. Coach, what's your favorite movie? I'll tell you one thing. The movies that are made now are not as good as the old movies. The best movie I've seen this year was Green Book. I mean, and that's not necessarily a love story, but it won Best Picture anyway. So, but I thought that was the best movie I saw this year. I don't know if I have like a favorite movie that would stump all other movies. Friends with Biz, be sure you're not the one who cares more. Be sure she enters your frame and not the other way around. That's a good take, Mayo. After 7 years, I'm going to act like she doesn't exist. Well, I don't know if that's possible, Gil. That's going to be tough on you. Be realistic. Do you mean that being that in no contact, or do you mean that you're just going to try to block her from your mind? I'm trying to think about favorite movie. I'd say if she reaches out, should I pick up? If she has a new boyfriend, I believe you said she's seeing someone else. I don't think it's in your best interest. And if you begged and pleaded last time you talked to her, I think you need more time to heal some wounds. Because if you do talk to her, you're going to probably fall back into begging and pleading and explaining, and you did something wrong. You need to pull back a little bit at this point, in my opinion. I'd have to talk to you first to get the full story about exactly what happened. She's making all the moves. Good, Josh. Good. If she's making all the moves, don't put any pressure on the situation. Be in the present moment. Have a good time. Reconnect. Treat it like you just started dating again. Have a good time on your dates. Okay? Don't ask a bunch of questions about what she's been up to or where she's been. Be in the present moment. You're starting all over again. Don't say like, are we still friends or not friends? I don't really like this friends with benefits thing. Hook up, have a good time, have another date, Don't put, like, what are we doing tomorrow? No, like, have another date. Just like when you first courted her, You know, whenever you start out, in my experience, whenever you start out, it's like you start dating, you like someone, you're attracted to them, but it's not, for me, I'm not like, oh, when can we be boyfriend and girlfriend? It's like the lead up's the funnest part in a lot of cases, right? And in my case, most of the time the girl ends up asking me like, are you ready to get serious yet? And that's where the position you want to be in. You don't want to be asking them. She's making all the moves when it doesn't work. Couple movies just to go back to. What's your favorite movie that weren't breakup stories, Alejandro? That were great movies. Adaptation. Vanilla Sky, I really liked. That was a crazy movie. What else am I thinking of that I thought? I just said Green Book was really good. Those are some movies that aren't necessarily love stories. They were just good movies. The best friendships happen when he is not that into you. Okay, if you haven't seen those, yeah, check them out. Vanilla Sky I like movies that make you think and that are different. So the storyline, you're like, wow, that made me think for a minute that, absolutely, I'm treating it as if we were meeting for the first time with the exception of the good memories. Yeah, don't get too, just don't. So let's say you hook up. This happens a lot. People will tell me they hooked up, they got back together, and then you start saying like, have you hooked up with someone else? Have you been with anyone else? Like what happened in the past. Be in the present moment. Don't put a lot of pressure on getting back together. Have fun, reconnect, build trust, build excitement. Coming up on an hour and a half here. Josh just entered. We're dwindling down our numbers here. This was a good little movie talk. I enjoyed this. This was a good topic. Really interesting. Green Book. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other movie off the top of my head that was really, really good. Oh, you know what? What's the Brazilian movie? The City of God? No. I got to look this up. Because that... Sorry, guys. Great movie. This has got to be top 5 movie, and it's kind of a love story, really. That movie's like it wasn't even like they were acting. If you haven't seen that movie, that's outstanding. It's in subtitles from it's Brazilian subtitles. The new Dumbo is actually pretty good. I'll take your word for it, Chief. Too bad they don't make many of those type movies anymore. I see it, the ones that make you think. Yeah, really. Train Spotting is a great movie. I don't know. Now I'm getting all over the place with these. Original one. City of God's a great movie. But I would say Vanilla Sky is one of those that makes you think like, wow, because like the dude has everything and then he loses it and then he gets goofy. I took some film classes when I was in college as electives, and it opened me up to a few different movies. A great, I haven't seen this in a long time. So Amoros Perros, it's a Mexican movie, actually. That was a great story, kind of like Traffic, where it goes all over the place. All right, folks. Anyone has some closing questions? I got to close this out. I got some stuff to do today. Any Tom Hanks movie, especially Green Mile. Green Mile was excellent. Amoros Perros was great. It's good knowledge, right, Alex? You didn't think I had that one up my sleeve. Moros de Perros. Thank you for correcting that. The dude that's in that movie is a great actor. I saw that in a film class at San Francisco State. Great movie. If anyone talk about a movie that you probably haven't seen or heard of, maybe because it's not a Hollywood movie necessarily, I guess. Alejandro, where are you from? You from the States or are you from somewhere else? Thanks, Alejandro. I appreciate it. Movies. The last 3 or 4 years, I haven't watched nearly as many as I used to, but 80s, 90s movies, I know quite well. I liked my movies, that's for sure. Mexico. No wonder you Amoros de Perros. Right on, man. Mexico. All right. I've only been to what is it? Rosarito, Tijuana, and yeah, I've only been there those places. Oh, I've been to Mazatlan. I've been to Cancun. I did a week in Cancun when I was a high school senior. Gave you a like. Right on, Gil Gates. I appreciate it. It's been nice that you've joined the live stream. TJ is very close to San Diego, but I think Alejandro would agree that it is a little bit dangerous over there. Wow. All great places to be. I currently live in Boston, school and work. Boston's cool. Right on, man. Well, there's a lot of students in Boston. I think 1 in 3 people are students in Boston. Cold, but good for you, Alejandro. I hope you're doing well in school. What are you studying, bud? I don't know if weed is legal in Boston. I know it's legal in California pretty much. I don't know the rules of that. Maybe unless you're saying it is. I think I'm gonna try to be consistent about this time. What's the best place to post it for you guys? I mean, laugh out loud. Boston's cold or Tijuana is dangerous? Both. Undecided? Okay. Make sure whatever major you pick, that you pick something useful that you can use in the future. Like people always laugh, like I'm a history major. I enjoyed it. The one thing you can use it for is probably teaching, which I did. But there's so many cool fields out there right now. I think a lot of people make sure someone told me that when I was younger, like do something, make sure you can use it in the future and help people in some way. And follow what you're interested in, not what someone else tells you to do to make money. When does no contact doesn't work? You asked that question, or are you asking that to the group? Maybe you're asking that to the group. All right. I'm going to close this out, peeps. Let's plan on, I think me and my ex rushed into our relationship quickly and caused it. Was it LDR? I don't need dates, but like you said, Mac, plenty of fish in the sea. It's a vast sea. It is a vast sea. And I'll take it a step further. You need to cut the anchor from your ex, get out there and start fishing. Catch some small fish. All right, coach. You have a great one. All right, Daniel. And Alejandro, have a wicked cool day, as they say in Boston. Boston accent's kind of funny, huh? I used to have neighbors from Boston. I love the Red Sox. Oh, man, he was crazy today. Boston's cool, man. It's a cool city, like I said. Fun. Thanks for contributing, CNSS. Anyway, I'm out. Coach, you later. Matt, can't wait to see the next live stream. I'll try to keep it consistent with that same time frame and try to be on deck tomorrow. Actually, I'll do it. I'll make a commitment right now. We're an hour and a half. Same time tomorrow if anyone wants to get involved. All right? So it was an hour and a half today. I started. Okay. Sounds good. Anyone else out there? Closing question? Throw a few likes on your way out? No? Awesome. Right on, Daniel. It's been a pleasure. I know you don't like the word. You've watched some of my videos then. Right on. That's good knowledge. Awesome, man. Oh, man. There's just certain words. It doesn't mean it's a bad word. What is this, EG? When does no contact doesn't work? Just drawing a blank there. You've asked that question numerous times. I thought I've touched on it. Is that a mistake or are you messing around? I don't know. Everyone else out there, I guess I'm going to sign off. Same time tomorrow if nothing crazy happens. All right? Peace and love.